your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
It's Christy J from the Chisholm Report. You're tuned in to Hot 702.5.
And this is Hot 702.5.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Come talk shit and politic with Christy J from the Chisholm Report every Saturday at 10 a.m. on hot7025fm.com.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
Election time's coming. Who you gonna vote for? You. If I was president, I'd get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president, instead of spending billions on the war, I can use that money so I can feed the poor. Cause I know some so poor. When it rains, that's when they shower, scream and fight the power. That's when the vulture devours. If I was president, I'd get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president.
All right. So it's another wonderful Saturday. I appreciate y'all coming in with me. It is a day, okay? I am Christy, and this is the Chisholm Report. I am an alumni of Southern University, political science and business management. My purpose of us getting together is so we can be able to make sure that we are informed about what's happening in our country. I don't have much time. I have a guest coming on today that I hold very dear to my heart. His name is Alvin Woods. He is a phenomenal man, okay? So he works in publishing, but he is now the new host of HBC White House. And we will be speaking with him in regards to his new platform and other ventures that he has done before and now. This is also someone that we were in the trenches together, okay? When you're in college and you're hungry, okay, you sharing and making sure that each your friends are able to eat too. This is someone that looked out for me and vice versa. So I am most definitely happy and very proud of him to be able to join me on my platform for today. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to kind of talk to you guys about a couple of things. One is looking back at what we had so far. Looking back at what we had so far, would you have rather support or stimulus? Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. When they first started saying that they were going to give aid, over a year ago, I was watching a video of me and my sister sitting down on the day that they actually said that they were going to shut down, and the casinos here in Las Vegas were going to go black, meaning that the machines and stuff were going to be turned off at midnight. And we didn't know what we were going to end up going through at that time. We were not prepared to know that it was going to be a year later. They predicted at first 150,000 deaths. It is now over 540K. That's a lot of people dead, and they didn't predict that. So we most definitely have to figure out in a year, where are we? Are we officially better than we were beforehand? Do you still think it's real? Is it still fake to you? So when I say support and I say stimulus, okay, what's funny to me is that if they would have given you a voucher for 6 months on different utilities, different items, okay, so 6 months on rent, 6 months on mortgage, 6 months on car payments, insurance, utilities, daycare, adult care, uh, these things that you would have needed, it would not have stimulated the economy like they wanted. That's why they gave you the money, because they knew you wasn't going to go spend it right. It's just, that's being honest. They knew that you were going to go buy Jordans, liquor, hair, lashes, nails, trips, spend the money at the casino, all the additional, not pay your back bills, which a lot of y'all didn't, and a lot of y'all just spent your little $1,400, which wasn't shit. Spent it, and you're still in the same position that you were before. So now they can say, hey, no, you asked for money, we gave you money, and you chose to do this, which is true. Okay, let's think about it. Let's take 10 people that you know and what they did with their stimulus. Let's average it out. Okay. Did you go pay up on your rent? Did you go pay at least one bill? Did you go pay it up to 6 months? Now, let's say if they would have gave you the support, which would have been taking care of these issues for you, would you have been as grateful? Now, let's do the math. 6 months of your rent would have been way more than $1,400. But y'all don't care. You would have rather have cash in your hand than think about, for 6 months, I don't have to pay my rent, which is from what, $1,000 to $3,200 a month. And then what you had made in that 6 months is yours to keep or save or whatever. It's strange to me that they would find it better to load up poor people and then advertise to you. They advertise to you the new Yeezys. They advertise to you that the PlayStation 5 is now, the back orders are coming in. They advertise to you more Hulu, Prime, Amazon, Netflix, HBO, all the additional trips. Come on, come spend your money. Spring break coming. All these additional things. So they made sure that they marketed to you, and then they're going to blame you for your stuff not being done, which is where they should. You're to blame. If you end up being evicted or your lights being cut off and you didn't put any additional of this money towards it, it does show that you are incapable of making decisions as an adult. It's just true. I want to tell y'all about a situation. My friend, who will remain nameless, okay, sent her daughter back to school. Okay, you know, they're only going 3 days out of the week, and she, everything was going good. I mean, they stayed out of the way, like, for this whole entire pandemic. They stayed out of the way. Okay, like, truly. Not around anyone, her parents, anything. So her daughter comes home and her daughter's sick. The teachers are like, she's been coughing all day. Maybe want to just keep her home for the last day of the week. And maybe that she'll be fine by next week, right? Her mom takes her to the doctor. She has strep throat. right? Her mom like, how did you get strep throat? Who are you around? What were you doing? You didn't go out here. You didn't go around anybody. And then her daughter says, my friend in class has an Elsa mask, and I wanted to wear it, and she wanted to wear my puppy dog's mask. So we switched masks. And then the next day, who else is sick? My friend. So you send your kid back to school thinking, okay, like maybe this will work out. And like I said before, kids are disgusting. They're gross. Okay. She didn't care that her friend had probably been coughing in that mask. She didn't care that her friend had probably maybe sneezed in the mask, drooled in the mask. Maybe her friend didn't brush her teeth this morning. Okay. She just wanted to switch because she wanted to wear the Elsa mask. Those are kids, man. You know what I'm saying? So they're feeling better now. But yeah, like she was scared. You know? And I know people that have went and took their vaccine, and they said that their second dose of vaccine had them sick. But they're okay with taking it. They just released, Dr. Fauci said yesterday that there's another variant that's coming to the shores of our country. And they don't know if the vaccine is going to be good enough for it. Are you going to have to get another vaccine? You can still get sick, is what they say. So still stay cautious, still stay distant. They just changed it last night, said that they were changing the distance between kids and schools so they can be able to get the schools opening as for 3 feet instead of 6 feet. I don't know how that works out. But let me talk about this, okay? This week in Atlanta, the people are going through another hate crime. I'll say what it is. A hate crime, okay? The guy went into this massage parlor and shot and killed women in 3 different locations, okay? 6 other people were Asian women. 1 was a Hispanic woman. 1 was a white male. Okay. I'll just say this. Okay. Why are they fighting so hard not to say that this is a hate crime? Okay. And if it's not a hate crime, why didn't he could have went on Backpage, Craigslist. I don't know where the hoes be. But what I'm saying is, if he was just looking for sex workers, he could have found them. And they didn't have to be Asian. Now, this also happened on the same day that Korea told us that if we gonna be about our business, gonna be on some shit, they gonna be on some shit too. Okay? That same day. And he went and killed Korean. He went into Korean massage parlors. How is it not racist? Now, I also want to say this because Asians, we've been dealing with y'all for the last couple of years in regards to us talking about y'all being racist towards us. I'm not saying that this is warranted. Nothing of this magnitude is ever okay. But you're getting a taste. Y'all have been. That's why I don't understand. Y'all have been through a lot of things that we have been through. Okay, but instead, you guys align yourselves with white America in a lot of arguments and disputes. And if we ever realize that we are basically all the same, we can get so much further. Okay, one of the things I said was that they were getting calls from all type of leadership from minorities to make sure that they were okay. But in these nail shops, I was boycotting the nail shops all last year, and I have not been this year. Okay, because of the stereotype of and the additional undertone talk inside of the nail shop, the treating us like our dollar is not worth it, and the customer service being horrible, things like that. Y'all beating women over their head with brooms and putting acetone in their faces and stuff like that. That's racist shit too. So now, did y'all see the elderly lady that beat her attacker? White man started beating on this old woman, and she beat the snot out of his ass, which she should have. But they wheeling him off on a stretcher, and she's sitting there with her eye bleeding. Like, why isn't she on the stretcher and he's sitting ready to go to jail? I don't understand this. But the problem with this is that they ain't ran across the right ones. And I feel bad about this because truly at the end of this story, it's not going to be a happy ending. You're going to run across the wrong ones. White men are very dangerous. Let's just be real. White men have done a lot on every last one of these continents. You're dangerous. You're dangerous like you want to say black men are dangerous. This is what was happening to sex workers, prostitutes, because that's what they're trying to clarify and trying to make it seem. His sexual need, he has frequent these massage parlors before, meaning that, oh, are you saying that he had sex at these massage parlors? Are you saying that he had got services there that were sexual? So are you trying to downplay the fact that he killed all these women? And I'm so glad that today CNN finally showed some of the names and the faces of these women. These women were 40, 50 years old. Holding massage therapy certifications. So what hurt it? What are you saying? Are you downplaying the fact that these were Asian women because you want to make it seem like these were sex parlors and he was just cleansing himself? For anyone else who wants to find themselves saying, I want to kill myself because of my addictions and kill yourself. Stop killing everybody else for shit that's going on in your head. And I just want to point out, this motherfucker killed 8 people and he still made it to the jail with a bulletproof vest on. We got people that still can't make it from a traffic stop, being beaten. Okay? We need to pay attention to what's actually happening around us. Okay? And it was a divide. But now that they have now hit also, now you have disrespected the black people in this nation. You have disrespected the Hispanic people in this nation. You have disrespected the Native American people in this on this land. You have now also disrespected the Asians in this respect. Muslim Americans. I just popped my nail off. Muslim Americans. When will we all get together and say that we are not the minority? I can walk outside right now, and I'm a fairly dark woman, And I bet you I can find an Asian person that is not too far away from my skin tone, a Hispanic person who is not too far away from my skin tone, a Native American person, an Arabic person, or Middle Eastern who is not too different in their skin tone as mine. When will we realize that we are together? Okay. We have to support one another, and we have to know that it's important that we are a force together. Okay. We're going to talk to Miss Patrina. Miss Patrina's going to call in. Miss Patrina's going to call in, and she's going to make sure that we have some clarity on what's happening with some of the bills that's happening. I want you guys to pay attention to the fact that, remember I was telling you about the electoral colleges, and that's what actually, that's who picks your president, okay? But your electoral colleges are your senators and your local representatives, okay? Now, remember I said that if we just voted, each state voted, and it was just one vote, then we'd be fucked up, because they don't, when you looked at the election, you saw that it was most of the states were red, and also most of the actual state would be red, okay, because they're more rural areas, but the blue areas were the more populated areas, which are more democratic, which were more color, okay. So they have are trying to pass a law in almost 48 states to keep to suppress your vote, to tell you that you can't vote early. I don't know how that helps with voter suppression, because you have to think about in that how many people who live below the poverty line cannot take a day off to be able to go vote. Then on that, how many racist ass owners are not going to let people off to go be able to go do it? How many people? How many people are truly going to have the issue of being able to stand out and wait that long to vote? What is the actual problem with mail-in voting? Okay. So we do have Miss Patrina in and ready to go. You know, she keeps it locked in, cocked like a pistol. You know, I just need her to step in so she could tell us about the bills and some of the things that they're bringing to us that we need to be aware of. So, Miss Patrina, are you there yet?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I can hear you.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be back. I've been under the weather for the last 2 weeks, so I wasn't able to check in, but wanted to call in today just to give you an update on what's going on in the legislature.
Right.
So a lot of bills came across. So we had AB 157, which was the bill that criminalizes discriminatory 911 calls for folks. So if you think about what's been going on in the news with white people calling the police, so that actually got a vote. It was a unanimous vote. So now it goes over to the Senate side. So we have to put pressure. It's easy to get it a lot easier to get things passed on the Assembly side than on the Senate side. So it has gone over to the Senate. So just want to make sure that people are contacting their legislature on the judiciary side for the Senate to get that one. The other bill was the AB 158, which decriminalizes youth offenses related to cannabis and alcohol. We shouldn't be locking up young people for cannabis when cannabis is now legalized in the state. So that one, people definitely want to keep an eye on. Another one is AB 230, and AB 230 ends the practice of sending youth to adult facilities. So it puts a halt to charging young people for as adults in certain offenses.
Right.
AB 230 is a big one. And then AB 116 was the bill that moves traffic offenses out of criminal court and into civil court. So that's really important because all of us can attest to having gotten a traffic ticket or know someone who's gotten a traffic ticket and it's turned into a warrant, and like it's a whole black hole of trying to get out of that system. I will say that if anyone has a chance, that would be a great committee hearing to listen to, because you would be amazed at how much opposition there was to that bill. And the reasoning that they gave for opposition, no lie, they got on the record and said that it would affect funding that is received from the traffic fines and fees that the city is getting, which I don't care about the fines and fees. Like, you're collecting money in essence on the back of Black and brown people. So people need to be called out for that.
Right.
The other one was AB 151, which removes the authority of courts to suspend driver's licenses for defendants of minor violations. And then AB 138 is a bill that removes barriers to receiving SNAP and TANF benefits for folks with drug convictions. So it allows for people that have been either that are just trying to get their lives together to be able to take advantage of some of the programs that every American should be afforded, especially right now during a pandemic. That's very, very critical and very, very key. You having committed a crime 10 years ago, 15 years ago, shouldn't stop you from being able to feed your family now.
Right.
And then the last one was introduced by our Attorney General, Aaron Ford, which was SB 50, which puts limitations on the issuance of no-knock warrants. So that was introduced with the Breonna Taylor incident. So we have some really, really good legislation. I would encourage anyone who has the time and everyone to take some time to watch the committee hearings, because like I always say, everything that we're fighting for as Black people, as working people, as people of color, there's someone on the other side of that argument that believes that we are wrong and that these things should not be passed. That's why it's so vitally important that we are activating our community and that we're encouraging them to participate. But when you watch the meetings, you actually hear the people call in that don't understand why we want to stop people from randomly being able to call 911 on us.
Right.
They don't understand why we're trying to not try youth as adults, right? They really want to speak in opposition to not having people go to jail just because they got a traffic ticket. So it's really, really interesting. We're at a critical time when we need the community to step up, not just to get these bills passed. That's the most time sensitive component of it, but we also need to be activating our community around what's going to happen in the midterm elections and beyond that. Because if we pass all these bills now, what's going to happen after they get passed is that you're going to have the other side running commercial ads,
exactly,
to your door, telling you how they want to let all the prisoners run free out of the prison systems. And so the same individuals that are working their butts off up in Carson City now to pass these laws are going to be vulnerable, and they're going to need the community to rally around them to say, like, we got you. Like, you pass stuff that's helping feed our families, that's getting our family members out of jail, that's helping to keep us out of jail. What do we got to do to make sure that more people like you, that you keep your seat and more people like you are elected? So the midterm elections is going to be extremely critical. Getting these bills passed are going to be extremely critical. And then beyond that, doing the work of building our community is going to be critical.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate you, Ms. Patrina, for giving us the information. This is something that I need my listeners to hear on an every week basis so they know what is in there and what we are fighting for, because so many people think that the election is just to be able to pick the president, when it goes all the way down until who's policing you in your neighborhood. And these are the things that we need to be more aware of, so we can be able to know that we have a say so. Our local elections are not just picking people, but we're picking policy. We're picking how are they going to govern us. So it's most definitely important. Do you have anything else for us before we go?
Yeah, I just wanted to lift up on April 7th, the Nevada Democratic Black Caucus is going to be having their general meeting. Senator Dina Neal is going to be on that meeting talking about some of her legislative priorities, some of the things that she's pushing for. And then on April 21st, the Nevada Democratic Caucus is going to have their mobilization meeting with Leslie Turner, who is really active in the mass liberation space. So a lot of these bills, Leslie Turner and the folks working in Mass Live have been at the forefront of writing the language for the bills, making sure that the impacted people that have been affected by these laws are talking to legislators so that they're getting the bill language right to where it's able to directly help impacted people. So definitely want to put those on folks' radar to take part and participate.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Patrina. I appreciate for the information. You guys, like I said, she is the key to make sure that we are informed about what's happening with policy in our area. Thanks again, Patrina. I will see you next week.
Always. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
You too. So yeah, you guys, it's important for us to be able to be aware about what's happening around us. These bills are important. Remember, we talked when I was talking earlier, talking about the voter suppression. We need to make sure that they can't do this again, that a Breonna Taylor situation doesn't happen again. And this is how we do it. We do it by participating, voting, testifying, going to go be able to tell your personal stories about what happened. And also sitting on jury duties, things like that. I know these were things that we were told not to do, like to go in there and for them, you don't want them to pick you. Yes, you do. Because if it was my son on trial or my brother on trial, I would want him to have a jury of his peers, people who actually look like him or at least understand his background before they sentence him. Okay, so we're still just waiting on Alvin to give a call in for us to be able to go ahead and move forward. I want to kind of give y'all somewhat of a drop of what's happening with HBC White House. Oh, there he is. Hey, handsome.
Hey.
So I'll go ahead and introduce my guest into you guys. Like I said, this is Alvin Woods, the host of HBC White House, a new show that is coming on, and I'm going to let him give you the gist of all this greatness. Hey, Alvin.
Hi, Christy. How are you?
I'm great. I am great. I see the background behind you looks nice.
Hey, you're actually getting a sneak peek of the set here.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So give us a kind of a drop of who is Alvin and what is Alvin doing?
Alvin's doing a lot. I am a brand strategist and publicist. My agency, The Media Model, is headquartered in New York City. I am from Louisiana, but I have cut my teeth in the professional world in the Big Apple. The entire time I've worked in New York City, I have been working to make sure that Black and brown narratives are at the front of all topics and conversations in corporate America. And during this pandemic, I really became motivated to do my part as a media guy, to do my part. I wouldn't say that I am someone who would be out there leading protests, but I wanted to make sure that I was using my form of activism. And my form of activism is media. So for me, it was to develop a platform that was for us. We oftentimes are not able to get on major shows, get on major talk shows, and speak about our narratives to our people, directly to our people, and speak in a way that we can understand, that's relatable, but also we can comprehend. So the goal with HBCU White House was literally to unite, empower, and inspire all of us to do what we need to do to get to the next level in our lives. So HBCU White House is an American political news and business information show. We're going to air twice a week starting Tuesday, March 23rd in Detroit on WHPR TV Detroit Live. But most importantly, your Las Vegas audience can find us at hbcuwhitehouse.com. We'll be streaming twice a week to find that national audience. So we're really excited to get started this next week.
Right. So, okay. For the people that don't know, this is my HBCU president, okay? My class president. This is how we started. Both at Southern University, of course. So I get there my first night at the, you know, how they had a little mixers and stuff like that. And I go to the mixer and of course, you know, I'm hitting my West Coast dances and I look across the way and I see somebody else hitting it before we knew it. We was hitting it, you know, and we've been friends ever since. He brought me onto his campaign as a event coordinator, and we did some major things on Southern University's campus, which I am still proud of to this day. And he has become one of my best friends in this world. I want to kind of shine on the fact of this is the first person I know to be able to get your master's in like a week or something. It took him no time, okay, to be able to get a master's in two different you know, studies. And he's just a brilliant man. I've had a couple of different people on before that he's brought on. One was Bleed.
Bleed Collection. That's right.
A page turner for Emancipation Limits. It's been great, and I really appreciate you being able to shoot people my way so I can be able to expose them to my people.
Absolutely.
With HBC White House, who is your target audience?
Absolutely. You know, so my target audience, before I get to that, I do want to thank you directly because what you brought up our past, our collegiate past, and it was our trip to Las Vegas during my tenure as a class president that really brought into focus what my professional passions really were going to be. You know, I was never the leader in a way that I was interested in policy. I just wanted to do I wanted to represent my class and do what the students wanted to do. And that particular year, we had a cross-country trip to Las Vegas to play in a classic at HBCU's football classic. Culture is the wave. It is the culture. And we decided, you and I, together with a few other of our close friends, to take a student road trip across the country. And spearheading that particular event led me down this path of managing projects and bringing ideas to life. So I thank you for the opportunity, because if you weren't right there from Las Vegas, we really wouldn't have been able to do that. So, you know, you bringing that up really brings into perspective how long I've been dealing with the Las Vegas community. So again, very excited to be on this platform to share with your show audience rather. And, you know, to answer your question, who are we targeting? We're targeting you and I. We're literally targeting people who look just like us. Although the show is called HBCU White House, we are not just targeting your affluent, Black, educated professional. We are looking to cover the Black diaspora. This is a show that's going to be inclusive and targeting all minorities 18 to 45. That's our direct target audience, because again, you cannot think of platforms where we can be ourselves, get information, and be informed about what's happening in our communities across the country. So that's what HBCU White House will be doing. We will be celebrating the rise of HBCU culture in a global manner. Black people, people of color, women, we have always been the backbone of America, But now the world gets to see our influence with Kamala Harris being elected as Vice President of the United States. So with that, we want to make sure that we're inclusive. We want to make sure that we're targeting topics that we need to know. We want to make sure that we are connecting with that collegiate student to make sure we're teaching them things that they should know when they get out of college. I know when I graduated from college, I did not have financial literacy. I did not know how to navigate through business. I didn't know any of those things. I didn't know how to do taxes. Right. I didn't know anything about a credit card. So all of those things will be added to this particular platform. It's very important for us to focus on politics, but it's also very important for us to focus on the industry of business and financial literacy. So we will be targeting everyone who needs to grow. This is a purposeful platform, and these types of outlets are going to help us get that message in across the world.
Right. Because it's not just a show, it's also a website, it's also a search engine. So tell me more about that portion of it.
Absolutely. So we're excited that we are a two-pronged media outlet. We're very excited to be associated with WHPR TV in Detroit and catch that regional Detroit metro area. But HBCUWhitehouse.com is where our national audience will find the show. So we really will be pushing that narrative to go online and check out, each episode while we stream twice a week. So it's really important that people know that the website is active, because you will be watching on the website what the Detroit metro area will be watching. And as an advertising guy from the start, I'm super excited that we have complete control of this 30-minute show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and also streaming twice a week on HBCU White House, as in we're in control of the commercials. That's major for the Black and Brown community. Even having this opportunity on TV, we don't necessarily get to tell our stories and our narratives during segment breaks. We generally have to give that portion of the conversation back to the higher ups. The higher ups generally do not look like us. They don't know where we come from. They don't know what products we really are into. So to have the opportunity to actually deal with the commercials and segment breaks, that brings in a completely different spectrum of Black and Brown business owners that might not necessarily be interested in politics, but they want to make sure that they get their products in front of an affluent and diverse Black and Brown audience. So we're really excited to be able to, curate commercials for this particular platform, both regionally and online.
Okay. When I think about HBC White House, for, let's say, kids that are thinking about going to HBCUs or don't have the proper information, is there a place on this in this show and also network for them?
Absolutely. So our partnership with WHPR TV, which is one of the only Black-owned TV and radio networks in the country, really motivated us to put together a scholarship fund and also an HBCU news tracker. So the specialty about this show is you will be hearing about up-to-date HBCU news every episode. There's not a platform on TV that gives you the opportunity to know about what's going on at Black colleges across the country. So we will ensure that we will be tracking HBCU news along with political news. So we plan to speak daily to our audience about what's going on at the universities across the country and give them that relevant information. Sports,
like events that's going on.
Absolutely. We want alumni, think of alumni from FAMU, think of alumni from Southern University who now call Las Vegas home. They may not be so close to their university anymore and may be out of the loop in regards to things that are going on, and not because they don't want to be informed. We're just all busy people. You can now tune into HBCUWhitehouse.com and HBCU White House on WHPR TV if you are in the Detroit metro area to get downloaded on your universities. One thing about the Black college experience is we're forever bound to one another. So alumni coming from Black universities always want to know what's going on their campuses or their respective yard, as we all call them. So, we want to make sure that you can tune into the show and get purposeful information, but also news updates that will push us all forward.
Okay. So I'll play the devil's advocate here. I am a Ivy League school person that never went to an HBCU. How does this help me?
Well, it helps because Black Lives Matter, and we need to ensure that Black education matters. So you don't necessarily have to be from an HBCU to have love for this particular show. You should have love for education, you see. And where we're concerned, HBCUs are homes for many of us. It is a community for us to grow and to be nurtured. And we may need a different atmosphere than those who attend an Ivy League school. So for those who have attended an Ivy League school, you have Black friends, don't you? You have other people in your life who do not look like you, don't you? You should, and you should be supportive of them. So again, our show isn't a platform to exclude, if you will. Our show is for HBCU alumni, supporters, and friends.
Right. Did you like my Ivy League what I did? I had pulled the chin back and everything. Look,
that's an Ivy League chin.
Right. Please let my listeners know how they can be able to reach you, any handles, anything that's going on where they can be able to reach you guys, and also the drop date so we can be able to be up and ready to watch on day one.
Absolutely. So again, next week, Tuesday, March 23rd, is the premiere episode of HBCU White House on WHBR TV, Detroit Live at 4 p.m. and streaming live right after we air at hbcuyhitehouse.com. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at hbcuyhitehouse.com. Our email address is correspondence@hbcuyhitehouse.com. Feel free to reach out to us with story ideas. Let us know what's going on in your communities, because it is a show and a platform for you. This has nothing to do with me. I'm just the messenger, but we want to make sure that we are moving with purpose and making sure that we are motivating and making sure that we continue to maintain the global influence that we've always had.
Well, I thank you so much. And anytime that you can, like Homo say, you can always use my platform.
Hey, look, and my platform, you're coming my way very soon. Definitely. I will be bringing you in for virtual panel discussions, because what you are doing with your platform in the Las Vegas community needs to be on a national stage. And if I have anything to do with it, HBCU White House will be on a national stage here soon.
Thank you so much. God bless you. And I will most definitely be tuning in for the very first show. So thank you. And I'll see you later.
Such a pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Bye. You guys, it's been a pleasure. I hope you guys are able to get the information that we're soaking in. HBC White House is supposed to be able to give you more information, especially if you're a person that went to a HBCU. You know the importance of knowing what's happening on your campus or what's happening on another campus that can influence your campus. It's important for us to talk about our kids being able to make it. Because if they could go to an Ivy League school, they can go to a Black school. You don't have to be a running horse for these other schools. And then we could actually make our leagues super leagues, because they're coming to look at us anyway, because we're superstars. So just know that these are places where you can be able to get more information, and also be able to follow politics and what's happening with the White House and how it affects Black people in general. Remember, he said it doesn't have to you don't have to just be from a HBCU to be able to get the information and to be able to enjoy it. Thanks again to Ms. Patrina for calling in to tell us about the bills. It is always important for us to be informed about what's happening, to know that we're not just voting in a stinking president, but it's policy and how we want to be governed is what we vote on. I really appreciate you guys coming in and sit and talk with me every Saturday. It is important for us to be able to keep the narrative. We are not going to allow other people like, how do you get to pick as a murderer your own charges? Somebody explain that to me. Okay, that makes no sense to me at all. how they said, well, he didn't feel like, he was just having a bad day, and his bad day just ended up in 8 people being dead. Okay, how do you get to pick what your crimes are? Because I would have never been able to do it. So I appreciate you guys coming in with me. If you see somebody grinding, let them know you see them shining. I love you guys, and I will see you next week, Saturday, 10 a.m. my time.